I baited this 4.4 star Infiniti dealership mechanic in a rough part of town in this car to see if he'd rip me off, but I made mistakes and there was a double plot twist. I wanted to see if they deserved their 1,760 5-star reviews, so I took my car in and told them I had an oil leak. What I didn't tell them is that I created the oil leak by loosening my oil drain plug and retightening it by hand, which leaves the seal broken. This is a simple but high-risk testing method. If the plug comes completely off due to vibrations, you will destroy your engine. So I recommend loosening the plug at the closest auto shop near the mechanic that isn't this AutoZone, then hand tightening it so it doesn't fall off completely. But did this shop rip me off? I arrived 10 minutes late for my 8 o'clock appointment, but it wasn't a problem. I was immediately informed twice that the diag is
$199.95.
so top marks for upfront communication. This woman took video of the car and I asked,
Is the video to protect you guys?
She responded with a smile and a one-armed finger click, which was funny. I gave her the key, but made my first mistake. I left the breaker bar sticking out of the backpack. In the waiting room, they had something I hadn't seen before, separate private office cubicles, which I immediately took advantage of. After 2 hours of waiting, my excitement for the cubicle wore off, so I find the woman who tells me, we're just getting to your car now. After 30 more minutes, she calls me into her desk and said,
So he's saying that he believes that it's just residue from a previous repair that you had done. Also, there was a seal that was a little loose, so the drain plug.
Yeah.
So he tightened that up and cleaned everything. So he's saying that if it is persistent, if it's still going, then you would need to replace it.
which is S-tier perfection. But there was more to this story that I only find out once reviewing the footage. I happily tipped the mechanic $30, who was for some reason looking sheepish, and I go to pay. She said it was free because it was a small job, so I tipped her $20. What actually happened is they started working on my car 30 minutes after arrival, not 2 hours after arrival. They lied to me. But why? The mechanic found the issue in 5 minutes, but oh no, he proceeded to tear the car apart for the next 90 minutes, looking for other leaks. This was my third mistake. My test design was flawed. Next time I'll give them a clue as to what the problem likely is so he can assume the problem has been found. I think the reason the woman told me they hadn't started working on it for 2 hours was because it was taking so long. I think the reason it was free was to make up for the fact that my quote took 2.5 hours. I don't blame the woman. She was just doing her job and she might not have even known what was happening. But would I take my car there? It took over 2.5 hours just for a quote, and they lied to me. However, I understand why they lied. They were friendly and polite, but their quote sheet showed typical dealership prices. Communication when explaining what needed to be done to the car was excellent. Most importantly, they did not try to rip me off. Infiniti of South Atlanta, I would take my car there.